All right, let's go ahead and get started to kick it off. Somebody tell me something good. So I'm skipping YouTube. I'm not going to YouTube. I will come back.
Cats play hard.
Yeah. So who's got something? Who's got a win in real estate over the last week? I see some of y'all winning. I see the numbers, so y'all be shy. All of a sudden.
We just listed it.
I didn't do that the first, but he did in my month I was almost able to say I did $1 million in a month.
Yeah, it was like 940,000, something like that.
You did too.
Julie, two going active. Nice, love that.
Got one under contract a couple days ago, and then the listing coming on tomorrow.
All right, Perez, I got you.
Got one listed on Sunday. I already went on the contract on Monday.
Nice, you're crushing it, man. Good job. Who else got one? Let's do. Who's got a personal win? I got one. All three of my fantasy football teams won this week. I'll take that. And Georgia eked out the victory over Kentucky. I know I'm a Georgia fan, so. Who else got? Who's got a general win?
The Moose Group Cat.
Yep.
Actually, Moose Cat.
Yeah, we got 2 new listings out that are really nice.
2 new listings. I love seeing all the listings. And when we look at the market stats, we're gonna get started here in just a second. You'll see that our inventory is going up in almost every location. I think there was one location that it didn't. So, but let's go ahead and make sure that I'm recording, because if not, then somebody's gonna yell at me. I don't even know who, but all right, let's dive into this. So these are the local market stats. I highlighted a couple boxes on here. As you all know, we're looking at September 1st through the 13th. So basically, in theory, halfway through the month. And one of the things that kind of sticks out to me is we've only had 45 sales, which is obviously significantly lower than what we usually have. And this is just for y'all's knowledge, but I want to try to challenge you all to think, what could have happened in the month of August that leads to such low closings? And you'll see this regardless of market, it led to such low closings in September. There's one thing that happens every year. School, right? So when people go back to school, what's happening? The parents are adjusting to new schedules. They're having to get the kids up. Fall sports is starting, pretty much every sports. There's a lot going on. And we talk about this, and just as a reminder, the first 2 weeks of August are typically slow in terms of showings, in terms of writing contracts, in terms of listings. When does that show up, right? As far as pendings, 30 days later. So this is kind of what we're seeing. Also combine that with obviously having a holiday and a Monday. I do expect the numbers to kind of pick up, but I'll be honest, I was shocked when I saw that there was only 45 sales in Owensboro, and it continues. The theme continues in almost every market that we're going to discuss. On the other side of that, I know a lot of you all were talking about getting listings, and I know a lot of our E-Town agents are taking listings as well. 305. So first time we've crossed over 300 in, gosh, I bet 4 years. So outside of maybe like one little month where it jumped up and then went back down. So inventory is starting to increase. That's rare this time of year. So it'll be really interesting to see kind of what happens over the next couple of weeks. As we look through the other markets, a lot of similar stories. So jumping over to E-Town first. 189 sales. So that number jumped up over the first week. However, we kind of expect to be somewhere between 250 and 300 at this point. So same story. Sales are a little bit down. Inventory, this is the only one of our markets that decreased inventory, but it's all still around the same number, still about 670, still significantly up in inventory over the beginning of the year when they had roughly about 530 here. Looking at Louisville market, again, look how low these sales are compared to the month over month. 387 sales when they normally hit between 12 and 1,400. So again, sales are down. Inventory continues to climb there, pushing, 2,647. Keeping in mind, they started the year at about 1,900 total. So again, kind of similar theme. And as we go through this, you'll see the reoccurring theme. So in Evansville, same thing, 1,150 sales almost. They're probably the closest to on target. They usually hit somewhere between 3 and 3,500 sales. Inventory, though, again, continues to climb. They pushed over 1,000 listings for the first time, and since I've been tracking it over there. Also, I'm happy to announce we have access to Henderson data again. We lost it for a little while there. We have it back. So obviously there's a little gap in data. We just got it back on Friday. I'm going to go back and try to backfill some of the data as best I can. I won't be able to get everything, but I'll get as much as possible. But Henderson through the first 2 weeks, about 8 sales. They normally hit somewhere between 40 and 50 sales in any given month. They got up to about 60, I think 67 was their high, if I remember correctly, in the summer. And then inventory, there's just nothing for sale there. However, compared to where they were at the beginning of summer, they've almost doubled their listing inventory. So same theme, inventory is going up, sales for for multitude of reasons are down. Overall, not really concerned. I like seeing the inventory creep up. I would love to see some sales, and hopefully a lot of y'all's pendings will close over the next 2 weeks and we see where we finish. Julie? Mhm.
Longer, like sit longer.
Typically speaking, yes. And what I'm seeing, and honestly, it's been a theme for about a year now. If you price it really aggressively, like what Perez was just saying, like he put one on the market and it went multi, and we've had it happen, homes will still sell. But if you miss it, and we're talking like 10 grand, if you miss it, good chance it's going to sit. And then you're playing catch up, right? And you're reducing and trying to get there. So it is best, and this is just generally speaking, but especially as inventory goes up, be aggressive in your pricing, because that's what's going to lead to sales right now. Especially interest rates continue to come down. We're going to talk a little bit about that when we get into the news portion. But right now, I think buyers, and I think you all would agree with me, buyers are being as picky as I've ever seen them. So whenever you're paying top dollar for a house, and even though rates have come down, still based off what they're used to, higher rates, they're going to nitpick houses apart. And we're seeing them fall apart at the home inspection period the most. So. All right, mortgage rate updates. So yeah, I just make sure I actually update it. Last week we were sitting at 6.25 for a conventional, 5.7 for an FHA and a VA. And good news, rates continue to drop. Here's today's rates. I did pull this morning, so this is accurate of today. 6.12 and 5.6, roughly 5.6 for FHA and VA. So good news is rates continue their downward trend. Nothing, we haven't seen anything that's going to cause those to spike up, go up, anything along those lines. By the way, anybody know what happens today? Feds start their meetings today. Yep. So do expect a Fed rate cut tomorrow. It'll be announced tomorrow. Usually they come out around 1 Eastern, 12 Central. But keep in mind, as we've discussed, most of the rates are priced in already as far as that rate cut. The question is, do they do a quarter point? Do they do a half a point? And I think that's going to determine kind of how our fall goes, honestly. So I did pull some mortgage data. Just looking at some of the sales and other things, it made me curious. And what you're looking at here is a mortgage purchase application index, which is basically how many mortgage applications, whether they were approved or denied, how many actual applications came out. And this is in terms of, if I'm not mistaken, thousands. But what I really want you to watch is look at how low we were compared to last year. So even though right around, we'll call it September, the rates kind of started to decrease and we saw this little spike, we still haven't caught up to our mortgage applications from 2023. And we're still significantly behind 2022. So what would be some of y'all's guesses on what could be the factors behind that? No right or wrong answers here. Yep, they want the 2 or 3%. And to piggyback off that, they're not willing to move off the 2 or 3%. Even if they're willing to take a 4 or 5, they don't want to give up to 2 or 3. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much it. That, and I think, and we've talked about this a little bit last week, I think we're in this weird period where all they hear is rates are going to go down, rates are going to go down, rates are going to go down. So now everybody's like, well, hold on, let me just wait and see if these rates go down. When actuality, and this is what I'm just telling you this so it can help you overcome potential objections. They've already priced in the rate drop. So if you're waiting to tomorrow and hoping you're going to get a quarter point less mortgage, it's not happening. And then B, we don't know, like, we're one major thing from happening, you know, a war, anything, an economic crisis, anything along those lines, from rates spiking up. So why wouldn't you lock in now when you can, right? And I know y'all know this, but just like to repeat it. National single family inventory. Again, main thing here is I want you to pay attention to the burgundy line. Not only locally, but even nationally, we're seeing inventory continue to go up. This is the first time, if you see, here's the 2020s. Outside of, you know, a few select months right here, everything's trending down, right? Even at the end of 22 and 23, trending down. We're continuing to trend up. So like seeing that, and we'll see, you know, how that affects buyers and potential sellers. Just know the higher that inventory gets, the better you're going to have to be at pricing, because you're going to have more competition that buyers are choosing from. So home sales contracts pending. Again, we still have more pendings than we did last year. However, we're kind of starting to see that decline. Just putting this up there to kind of reemphasize that we're through the main selling season, right? So from here, it tends to trend down all the way until about February, and then it'll pick up from there. So again, just want you to be prepared in regards to your pipelines, things like that. We will see about, and typically speaking, it's about 33% of, you look at a total year sales, 33% are going to happen between the months of October and March, and 66% are going to happen from April till September. So you're just going to have to, I just want you to be prepared and know you might have to have more conversations than you had this summer in order to sell the same number of homes, right? Okay. News and updates. First one, PennyMac is increasing their conforming loan limits to over 800,000. This is for conventional loans. So I'm not sure how many of you knew this, but after a certain point, PennyMac won't insure loans. Basically means that, so the way this works is a bank loans money, whatever, 700,000, and they loan it to Kevin. Well, then PennyMac buys that from them. So that gives the bank money to come out and loan money to Moose, right? That's how banks continuously move. Well, over a certain limit, PennyMac won't buy them, and the bank's just stuck on them. You probably heard the term jumbo loans. Like, a lot of times this applies to jumbo loans as well. But you can see back in 2016, the limit was 400,000, and look how much it's gone up, with 2024 being 766, and then 2025 going to over 800,000. So the good news is, it actually ran across this the other day, but the good news is, people can get a conventional, basically backed loan, that gives banks more money to be able to loan with. That's a good thing. But I have seen situations where somebody maxes out on this and it's credit score driven. So I had a client the other day who had reached out to me. This has been a month or two ago, but they reached out to me and were like, hey, he didn't really have credit because he had a great job and just paid cash for everything. And he wanted to buy somewhere around a $700,000 house. Well, or no, 775 was the house that they were actually called me about. And come to find out, after talking to the loan officer, they couldn't get it because his credit score wasn't high enough, because it was above the threshold. If it was below the threshold, he would have got by with a little bit less credit score. So anyways, long story short, he's working on his credit and all that stuff, and he'll probably buy something next year. But you know, as these numbers go up, it just makes it a little bit easier for our clients. Next, so this was announced. I'm not going to give you my personal opinions on it, other than the lawyers just got $220 million that started the lawsuit that upended our whole industry. You can take from that what you want, but there's the fact. The investors' expectations for big Fed rate cut rise. So here, I just wanted to let you know, this is what we were talking about. I didn't mean to go back. I was trying to highlight the words. So looking at upwards of 50 basis points. Like I said, the quarter of points already priced in. If the Fed surprises us tomorrow and they do come out with the half-point interest rate reduction, then I would expect to see mortgage rates drop. Maybe not a full quarter, but probably by like, you know, an eighth or something along those lines. I'll actually, I'm going to watch this tomorrow, and if I see something crazy happen, I'll shoot it out through the GroupMe app and all of that stuff. But again, I just don't really expect rates to drop very much tomorrow. Short of they drop at 50%, but I think the Fed's so scared that the data they have isn't accurate, because we know that, you know, a lot of the employment numbers were adjusted later on, which that always happens, y'all. That isn't like some crazy mistake. Like it always gets adjusted based on factual data about 6 months later. But I think they're kind of scared of that. So they're probably only going to do a quarter point and then look at another quarter point later on. Found this article interesting. So pulled this, baby boomers own a quarter of all the large homes in the US and they aren't selling. So baby boomers are anybody born between 46 and 64. And then there was a study done by Clever Real Estate that said 54% of them plan to continue to age in place. Even going further in the article to say that their plans are, even if their house is paid off, they do not plan on cashing out. Most of them are going to leave it as an inheritance because they're worried that their kids and grandkids aren't going to be able to afford a home in the future. So if you want to know why the inventory is taking so long to come back, this is part of that reason. Not only do we have the interest rates that Amethyst said, but also we have a lot of people who just could move if they want to and have the cash to move, and they're choosing to keep their homes in order to pass it down to future generations. So just know that that could be a continuing thing where we used to target people who were downsizing. Less and less people are downsizing right now. So just know that when you're doing your lead generation. All right. Fun fact. So I pulled some other articles just for fun. Michael Jordan's mansion, and talk about days on market. Michael Jordan's mansion has been for sale for 12 years. He currently is at 14.8 million and he started at 29 million in 2012. By 2014, he dropped it to 16 million. Like I said, currently at 4.8. It has the address on here, 27 Point Drive. You can look it up. It's a pretty amazing place. Be kind of cool to own something that Jordan owned, I guess, but
Yeah, 2.3.
yeah, 2.3, my highest offer. Also, fun fact, Sears used to be able to buy a home on Sears. So anybody, I mean, I'm gonna date myself a little bit here, but anybody remember the Sears catalog? Like I remember, like I used to go through the Sears catalog and like circle everything I wanted for Christmas and all that stuff. Right? Did he? Yeah.
Their auto mechanic here in Owensboro.
Yeah, and we had the Sears where which churches I can't remember, Him Church or Legacy Church, him I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it used to be a Sears there and all that. Well, they sold more than 70,000 home kits before they stopped doing this in the 1940s. I tried to look it up and I couldn't find an exact number, but ballpark between $5,000 and $7,000 for a home back then. So, and they would actually mail it to you, and then you'd have somebody basically put it together. Even better deal than that. Russia sold Alaska to the U.S. for 7.2 million. That breaks down to 2 cents per acre. Who would like to buy some acres for 2? I don't care where it is. I'll buy stuff on Mars for 2 cents an acre, right? Like, because it will eventually probably be there. We'll be building houses there once we run out of land here. And then, before you leave, for Owensboro and anybody who wants to go, there is a broker open. That's going to be on Highway 405. That'll be it doesn't start until 11:30. So we'll probably head out from here around 11:30. And also wanted to give you a heads up of Coffee with Closers by Foreman and Watson on September the 18th, which is tomorrow. That's from 8 to 10. And then I forgot to put the graphic in here, even though Bobby sent it to me and asked me to. But we have the golf scramble next Thursday evening, also starting at 3 o'clock, if I remember correctly. So, all right. Well, that wraps up salesman. We'll do the wants and needs. Anybody have any new listings or anything coming up that they would like to share with everybody?
My 3304 Allen going back with the first right. Whoever's trying to buy their house, cut back out. So
3304 Allen's going back on the market.
Arbella Forbes is going back on the market.
Thoroughbred East. As soon as you come in, it's one of the first houses on the right. It's a Thompson. It was their model home when they developed that neighborhood. So it's really big, lots of upside.
Is that one on the little, go up a little bit? It's on the little cul-de-sac.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
on
yeah, I
the,
think-
it looks on.
I remember when they bought that.
It looks on the main drag, but it's a great home, and we've got it priced at 214.9, so it's back on the market today.
Today. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a great flip opportunity. And then we've got one on Farrier over off by Westland. It's off of is that Mayfair? Yeah, off of Mayfair. Really, really nice, really cute home. Backs up to OMS. So
It's
Very,
adorable.
very,
inside.
very cozy. It's got a wood burner, really cool.
What's the price on that one?
$299.9, really good price. It's like
It's-
24.
Yeah, no, it's,
That's a really good
yeah,
price.
it's 2,400.
It's like 2,400 square
Is it,
feet.
is it basement?
No, it's on a,
It's on crawl, right?
no, it's just on the slab.
Is it on slab?
Yeah, it
Oh,
says.
okay, I didn't know if I'd have to go back and look, but it must be on slab then. No basement. But it's got an upstairs.
Upstairs?
Yeah,
Like a master
Yeah.
upstairs.
and then we've got one coming, 836, is it Gardenside? Gardenside Drive today, 139.9, fresh paint. It's been somewhat updated. It's got new HVAC, new water heater. Great first time home or investment property. What's that? It is on slab. Yeah. Yeah, and it's got,
Closer to McFarland or kind of closer to
closer to,
Craven side?
Craven side.
Right,
Close-
closer on that
it's
side?
closer to
Yeah,
Craven side.
okay.
If
What
you-
was it?
836 Gardenside.
836, okay.
It's got a fenced in backyard, like I said, very nice, first time investor home, or first time buyer, or first time investor, or an investor.
HVAC's new, what about the roof?
Water heater is new and roof is, I think was redone in, during the hailstorm,
And that was 3-1, right?
3-1. 139.9, it should go quick,
That's on 17 and shit.
16, 17,
Yeah.
yeah. Trying to think, we've got the house in 4,200, it's at 574.9, I can make a deal happen on that one. And we've got, am I thinking of another one? We've got our Ohio County listing. If anybody's got a big buyer for Ohio County,
And my Harmony Drive might be coming back on the market, so.
Really?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got-
we were supposed to close yesterday or tomorrow.
so, yeah. And then we've got that acreage out there on East Harmons Ferry, which is very nice. 1.2, to get it done, it needs to be around $1 million, so it's probably, that's where the price needs to be.
You lowered London Pike 5,000, so it's 295.
Tell me, you want to talk about it halfway?
We've got one over on 1,500 Hathaway going on the market tomorrow. It's nice, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, brick home, 2-car garage. The driveway out back has been recently concreted and all that last year. And it is tenant occupied and the floors need to be redone. They will be putting 104.
What's that?
1,500 Hathaway Street.
Like it needs some cross space work, like when we say floors, like it's got a couple places.
Subfloor.
Yeah.
Is that the one that was listed?
It's listed last year, I think it
Yeah.
was 109.
We've got off market about 111 acre farm, give or take. It's got 3 homes on it. Barn, animals, crop. She would let it go for 10,000 an acre, which is a hell of a price for that.
What's the total price on it?
It's
Uh,
126 acres or something.
Is it 126? I thought it was 111.
I don't know, I got too much going on.
It's 111 plus it's 111 plus give or take, but there's 3 nice homes on it. Like I'm talking
Mhm.
nice homes. So we have to take that into consideration as well. But she would be willing to let the land go for 10,000 an acre. So we come together on a price on the houses. We could,
Yeah, let me know if you can give me a ballpark price. I
Yeah.
have somebody might be interested in something like that.
I mean, we pulled in, I didn't know what to expect.
And he would want all the acres.
Oh,
So
it's-
acreage house, all nine of them. Yeah, that's what he has. He has like 50 cows that he's looking for a place for.
Oh, yeah, it'd be, yeah, that, I mean, that's what they've got out
We'll
there
send,
now.
we'll send him the pictures and all that. We went out there the other day. It's awesome.
You say there's 3 houses on.
3 houses on it, a barn.
I've got some that might be interested.
Okay, yeah, I'll send it to you.
Hmm.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff either, coming off, on the market that we have off market or, things that we're putting on. We've got a lot of stuff working and we need some help getting it sold. So if y'all have some buyers, bring them on.
Anybody else?
We've got the one out on Highway 554. It's 4-bed, 3-bath, built in 2018. The sellers are very motivated.
Is that a vinyl siding or brick? What is that?
Vinyl.
You know, I'm surprised on that one.
1,700 square feet.
Not very old at all.
Yeah, they just built it.
Their credit to go look at that one.
Okay.
They just need like to boost their credit and they wanna see that one. So maybe.
If they're close, like you feel like they can get their credit done in the next couple weeks, go ahead and show it. Like
Yeah.
we won't mind that.
Jared.
Okay.
They So, and they're really interested in that, but you know, got the foundation through, so. Yeah.
I understand.
I've got one company today that has water access to the Green River and they have their own dock. And the house has an elevation certificate, so you actually don't have to have flood insurance. So if y'all have anyone that wants to be on the river.
What's the price on that one?
$179.
Oh.
So it's got 3 acres, so.
Yeah, that is nice.
On the Green River.
And- In Rumsey, you said 179 then?
I just said you had one thing, you make a comment on it, but.
Let me check. He has a 5-bedroom, 4 bathrooms on 5 acres in Hardensburg and 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms in McDaniels. Huh? All right, anybody else have anything? All right, well, don't forget about the broker open at 11:30, and we'll see everybody there.